Welcome everybody to the F1 podcast on sports with Sadhyaji and friends. Today we bring you a special edition of the stream, right? As we look forward to Abu Dhabi, the season finale of 2024. Um, we'll probably do a quick recap at the end of this time, but we want to focus the stream on the one of the greatest drivers of all time in Lewis Hamilton, who is starting a new chapter of his career, right? He has spent how many years, Aniket? Close to 30 years at with the Mercedes brand, right? Right from his karting days, and then Formula 3 to his entire journey into F1. He was at McLaren, and then he moved to the Mercedes Works team a few years after they entered F1, and he has stayed with them ever since. Till you know, ultimately, when he announced at the starting of this year that he's moving next season to Ferrari, right? So it's been a long and illustrious journey for Sir Lewis Hamilton. And so, yeah, I think we wanted to do this stream today as a tribute to Lewis Hamilton and his era at Mercedes. And to kickstart, here's Aniket, our resident Team LH44 club president, who's going to start off. He's going to start off with how Lewis started off, right, at Mercedes from his karting days, his sponsorship, and his journey into F1. After you,
Yeah, I
Aniket.
think Pratyush, that was a beautiful introduction of how this podcast or this show is going to be about, or what this show is going to be about. So it's going to be all about Lewis. And as Sunday ticks by in the next couple of days, I think for me, on a personal level, even I am, as a fan, as one of Lewis Hamilton's biggest fan, I'm getting a little emotional as well because we've seen him in a silver arrow right from his F1 debut to now, which is what about 17 years in F1 or 18 years. So when he announced at the start of the season that he is moving to a Ferrari and leaving this great partnership that he has with one of the world's biggest brands, whom he has been associated with, as you said, for close to 30 years. It made all Lewis Hamilton fans a little teary eyed because it's going to be different seeing him in another color because we've been so accustomed to seeing him in a silver or a black car. So that firstly going to take some time to get used to. And then also the long history he's had with the Mercedes team itself, with people there like Toto Wolff, and also his race engineer Peter Bonington, also James Allison, and so on. So I think we'll get to that at the later stage. But let's start off, as you said, with how this era started. So I think we can just briefly talk about what happened before he came to the Mercedes Works team in 2013. So Lewis Hamilton entered Formula One in 2007, and he, as a debut or as a rookie in his 2007 season, he, proved to be a match for the two-time world champion Fernando Alonso, nearly winning the title, but just losing out in a very close battle with uh, Mr. Kimi Raikkonen. And then, it was a successful season, although also the McLaren team had a lot of off track drama, and which resulted in also Mercedes, who was the main works team, a works partner for McLaren, both of them having to pay huge fines in the Spygate controversy and that season. So after that season, I think Alonso departed, leaving Lewis as the team leader. So Lewis, spurred on by his rookie year success, now he wins the championship in the most dramatic fashion in the last corner of the last race.
Is that Glock?
Is that Glock? Yes. So he wins the first championship for McLaren in what 10 years or 9 years, I guess, and then
Yeah.
also, he ascends to stardom. But between 2009 to 2012, he had a very up and down 4 years. He had seasons of success, seasons of wins, especially from 2010 to 2012 onwards. But that second title eluded him, which would move him on to the next level of superstardom and greatness as being
Yeah.
a multiple world champion. So I think McLaren at this time were also letting him down with, the car they were providing him. Also, there were a lot of aerodynamic failures with the car, and Red Bull in that period generally had a better car, and Lewis was not getting what he wanted at McLaren. So here comes the Mercedes works team. They split from McLaren. I think we want to do an entire podcast on what happened there. There's a lot of backstories in that, but that deserves a
Yeah,
separate
but
podcast.
basically two words, Ron Dennis.
Yes, actually, Martin
So I
Whitmarsh was the
think,
culprit, but yeah, there's a lot
yeah,
more
but
history
basically,
behind it.
yeah, I think, I mean, Mercedes was originally Braun GP, right? Ross Braun, he bought the defunct BR Honda team for what,
Yeah.
£1. He still keeps that coin with him. And Ross Braun obviously is a legend, the a legend of Ferrari who won Schumacher 5 titles. And
Hmm.
and then the Braun GP team started in 2009, quickly had success, right? And then Jenson Button, out of nowhere, nobody expected Jenson Button to win the driver's title, right? Like, he was a good
Exactly.
driver, but nobody expected him to be a title winning material, right? But Jenson took full advantage of the car, right? Especially the first 6 7 races, Braun won all the races, and then I think some of their aerodynamic inventions got ruled illegal. But by then there were too many teams fighting over the remaining races, and Braun basically won the title. And I think after that, Mercedes, like you said, entered F1. They bought the team from Braun, and I think it was what Petronas, Mercedes, and Toto Wolff himself, right, who bought the team, right? It was like
Toto
one
Wolff
third
was
equal.
obviously there in the as a stakeholder in Mercedes, and then they
Yeah,
onboarded Ross Brawn to the team as well. They got Michael Schumacher
yeah.
for a couple of
Yep,
years
Michael
out of
Schumacher
retirement.
came out of retirement, right? And they got the young
Yeah.
German Nico Rosberg,
So, so
and
Mercedes sold their stake in McLaren, which was about 40%, which was done
yeah,
in the next 3 years. So McLaren
right.
had become the full owner of the entire team. So obviously, like Lewis was trying his best. The McLaren team also tried to give him a good car, and Jenson Button was a new teammate from 2010 onwards. So
Right.
I think they did put up a good fight in 2010 and 12. Lewis himself had a good season in those 2 years, but again, the car failed him multiple times as well,
No,
and
but
there were
yeah, but at this point, McLaren was still, I mean, they were still a Mercedes customer, right? So Lewis's
yes,
association with Mercedes still stayed. And
correct.
then basically, yeah, I think at the end of the regulations in 2013, Lewis finally decided he had enough, right?
2012.
Uh, no, no,
2012 was
2010,
2013 the regulation ended, but 2012 he decided to leave
right, right.
McLaren to join
Hmm.
Mercedes. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
it,
So yeah, 2013 is
yeah,
when Hamilton left for Mercedes, right? And then 2014 we saw the new regulations come in, right? The hybrid era that has been the norm for the past decade in F1.
yep.
And yeah, with the new regulations, I think that's when we saw Lewis, right, really go from strength to strength. Mercedes, obviously, at that point, they had
So
very good.
before we put it into context, there were people bashing Lewis for making a decision to join Mercedes because he was leaving a successful team in McLaren
Yep,
who'd
yep.
won
Yeah, yeah,
multiple
totally.
championships in their history, while
Right.
Mercedes was just coming back into F1 as a full works team. So people
Yeah, I
were
think at
indeed
that point
questioning his
nobody knew
decision.
how Mercedes would turn out, right? I
Yeah,
mean, like, they had Michael Schumacher, who's one of the greatest of all time, and he was struggling in Mercedes, right? Nico Rosberg was running laps around him, and but I think, but I think, yeah, I think Lewis, I think that was one of the smartest decisions by Lewis to come to Mercedes because sure, on the track they were not giving results, but if you look at the kind of people that Mercedes had at that point, right? They had Ross Brawn, right, one of the greatest engineers in F1 at that point. They had Michael Schumacher, one of the greatest drivers in F1 even today, and then Niki Lauda, one of the
yeah.
champions of the 70s, right?
And Niki Lauda was the one who immensely convinced Lewis to join Mercedes, and
Yeah. Hmm.
basically he sold the entire project, which was beginning from 2014
Right.
onwards, which gave them a jump start. And Mercedes, to be on their side as well, they did a very good thing by switching focus to 2014 very early as compared to the other teams who did it at a much later stage. So they got a big head start, and at that time the cost cap and all that was still not in effect, so teams did have
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, a lot of money to spend on, you know, developing the cars right from the previous year. So
Yeah, that was a
Mercedes used
different
full
time.
advantage,
They're
took
not
full
even.
advantage, and they developed probably the best engine we've seen in F1, you
Oh
know,
yes.
in that decade.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's very right. And 2014 comes, the hybrid era comes. You have all these fancy engines with your MGUH and MGUKs, and your energy recovery system. And I think even DRS came around this time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the new era comes, and yeah, Lewis just storms to victory, right? First two seasons, 2014, 2015. Mercedes were the winner of the new regulations, right? And Lewis wins
yeah.
his second and third title, putting him firmly among F1 royalty at that point, right? There are not a lot of drivers who even won three titles, right? It's a very rare group,
I mean, Lewis
and I think that
definitely like took for what do you say? They definitely had a good rivalry between Lewis and Nico in the first couple of
yeah, yeah,
seasons.
of course,
I
yeah,
think two drivers who were at the top of the game at that point, given equal cars, equal machinery, and they were very close championship battles. Like, obviously, we didn't
yep,
get like the five-team racing which we have nowadays in F1, but we did get like
hmm,
two teammates battling it out for championship every race. You know, being very close to each other. So that was exciting in itself. And
right,
Lewis, as you said, ascended to superstardom with multiple championships now. He was a three-time world champion by 2015, and
yeah.
Mercedes were like onwards and upwards for them. They were not slowing down.
And if you look at the number of so in F1's history in its 75 years, there have been 34 drivers so far who have won titles. And if you stop at Lewis's third title, right? They were just 32 because you have to exclude Nico Rosberg and Max Verstappen. So in those 32 drivers, there were only one what five or 10 drivers. Lewis was the 10th driver who won a third title, right? It was such a rare group when Lewis won his third title, right? And yeah, and obviously, like you said, the rivalry Nico Rosberg was heating up. I think Nico was always one of the fiercest competitors for Lewis in that time.
Yeah,
And then we had 2016. Oh, what a season that
yeah.
was!
2016
I know
again
you
was
won't
a
like
close season.
2016, but oh, as a neutral, what a season it was! The
Yeah,
drama,
I
man, the
mean,
drama.
great season. Lewis unfortunately had the whole engine failure at Malaysia. I still remember that was heartbreaking. I
Yep.
mean, that cost him the title in that season, more or less. And obviously, the Spanish
Yep.
Grand Prix where the two collided in Catalonia. So that was
Oh yes.
another turning point in the season. I think both of them could have avoided that, but they lost points unfortunately, which proved to be costly. And Nico won the
Yeah,
title
but also
again.
it was a funny season, right? That like the first four races, Nico Rosberg won all four,
Yeah,
right? And then they retired, and then Lewis won what is it? Six out of the next seven races, and then Nico wins three more races, and then yeah, Lewis retires in Malaysia, and then Nico wins again, and then Lewis finishes the wins the last four, but Nico gets second in all four races.
yeah, because there were no other drivers at that point challenging.
Exactly.
Ferrari did
Yeah.
not have the best of the cars, though they were sneaking in podiums here and there with Sebastian
Oh,
Vettel now on
Ferrari
their team.
was terrible that year, man.
Yeah,
Ferrari was terrible.
so yeah, 2016 was very eventful, and it proved to be so eventful and so mentally challenging that a certain Nico Rosberg retired immediately after winning the championship. That's
I
because that's what
I
Lewis
still
Hamilton does
I,
to you.
I still remember that so clearly, man. Like the season gets over. What are the last race? Abu Dhabi? No, yeah,
Abu
Abu
Dhabi,
Dhabi,
yeah,
right? Yeah, Abu Dhabi gets over. I know Nico comes second. Takes the driver's title, and media's lining up to interview. Hey, Nico, what do you think? How do you feel? And Nico's like, I'm retiring. I'm done with this sport.
yeah, and then he said because he couldn't handle. I mean, he cannot do this again. He cannot go through
Yeah,
this again, basically. So I mean, there are very few drivers like a Lewis Hamilton, like a Michael Schumacher, who come and go in F1, which
right.
who put so much of pressure on your teammates that a winning season might be so mentally excruciating on you that you might
Yeah,
just want to
yeah.
call it quits after being successful. And I guess
And I think
Nico,
we should
hmm,
also remind the viewers at this point. that Nico Rosberg is younger than Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. So you can imagine. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
2016.
Yep.
And then we have 2017, 2018. There was 2017, 2018. I think 2017 was more of a uneventful season, I guess. Lewis had his way in that season, and now he's got a
Yeah.
new team in Valtteri. Valtteri Bottas. I think we don't speak highly of Bottas, but he was the perfect number two. He was close to Lewis on
Yep.
certain occasions, but yet s- a little too far on occasions where he needed to challenge. But the perfect number two. He could do a
He,
good
he
job.
was a he was a Rubens Barrichello, man. He was a Rubens Barrichello for Lewis.
I think there should be a say a rating of all the great number twos in F1. I'm sure Rubens
Yeah.
and Valtteri would be atop the list.
Oh,
So
totally. Yep.
yeah. So 2018 was when 2017 now he wins his fourth championship. Okay.
Yep.
He and 2018 is when Ferrari start off with a better car than Mercedes. It looks like Ferrari indeed could, win this championship when we and the European season. Suddenly Ferrari is like got a big lead. But then
Yeah,
mistakes
we know what
happen. Sebastian
happened.
Vettel loses
That
his pole.
Sebastian Vettel spin, man, that still haunts me.
The German Grand Prix,
Yep.
where he just went off the track into the barriers. Then he also had an incident with Lewis in Baku where they touched
Yeah.
wheels because he thought Lewis was brake testing him. So
I mean, to be fair, even 17 was pretty close. Ferrari
yeah,
and I mean, Vettel and Lewis were trading wins in the beginning, right? But then, yeah, I think once it came to Europe, Lewis just kind of won races on the trot, and Vettel had retirements. Ferrari did Ferrari things. You all know what Ferrari does.
illegal engine.
No, that was 19. That was 19.
19, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, 18 was fun. 18 was a very close championship up until a
Yes,
certain
it
point. But
was till that spin.
not a spin. He just went straight on.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, not spin. I mean, but Vettel went into
He
the wall,
lost grip
right, at
unless he went
Germany.
straight on. So yeah.
Yep, yep, yeah. He went into the wall. No, I mean, sorry, I say
And
spin
Lewis won
because
that race from P11.
the reason I say spin is because actually that is when the Esbinala meme started on Reddit.
Yeah.
after Sebastian went into the wall.
Yeah. But yeah, 18 was good. Now Lewis is the five-time champion, and
Yeah,
there's no
yeah,
stopping
that puts
him.
him in Formula One royalty pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Like how many drivers have won 5 titles, right? Just three.
Fangio, Lewis, and Michael.
Yep.
That's it. So Fangio, Lewis, and Michael at that time. And now 2019 comes about. What do we have in
Yeah,
2019?
2019, he pretty much, I think he ran away.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Ferrari had an illegal engine, but that was good only on the straights, right? And not every track is a Monza. So
exactly.
Mercedes
Yeah.
ran away with the title that year. Lewis was way too strong.
I mean, I thought for once Valtteri might challenge Lewis, but I never, obviously that never happened. So yeah, Lewis I think
Yeah.
did have a
Do you
smooth
remember?
sailing.
Do you remember Drive to Survive? Valtteri is like, I will challenge Lewis for the title.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. 2019 was fun. A good peaceful season with not much of incidents. So that was fun. And then
Yeah.
Lewis is now a six-time champion. That puts him
Yep.
one behind Michael
One behind
in the list
Michael.
of
Yep.
championships. And we get 2020, probably the greatest car ever built
Oh man.
in Formula One.
Yep.
What is it?
Was it
W11, right?
the W11? Yep.
W11.
I think the
Yeah, that
W11 is
car,
right
that
up
was a
there
work
with
of
the.
art.
I think the W11 is right up there with what? Probably the F 2004
After
and what?
2004, I guess.
Anything else? I don't think any other car was as dominant as that, right?
I mean, I did like the 2005 McLaren. It was not dominant, but I just loved the car from the aesthetic point of view and
Right.
what it could do on,
Hmm.
or Kimi Raikkonen could, get it done or get things done with it on certain races. So obviously, the W11 is probably the most dominant car apart from the
Yeah,
F2004. And
pretty much.
you watch videos of the W11, you see, why we're talking about why it's the most dominant car.
Yeah,
Like,
that
especially
car was my god.
planted to the ground. Like, it
Yep.
had so much of downforce as well as top speed. It's like insane.
Yep.
and there was no stopping Mercedes that season. This was the COVID year, right? This was when the world,
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this was when the world was in ruins, and we didn't know if we're going to actually have an F1 season. And
Yep.
races were getting cancelled. All the team personnel flew to Australia, but the race got cancelled, and we didn't know when the race was going to
Yeah.
start. So we had a very weird European schedule at that time with a lot of historic races coming back on the calendar.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh, Portimao. I still remember Portimao from that year, man.
yeah, Putting was fun.
Yeah.
And
The
we
big
also
hill
had
and all that.
Nürburgring that year. That was fun. We also had Turkey that year, which was like one of the worst tracks on the calendar because of the new asphalt and crazy. And it
Oh,
was wet.
man.
It was wet
Turkey
as
was
hell.
such a
And
wild card.
yeah, so and the Mercedes just did well on every track. So
Yeah. That Merc was unbeatable, man. That season, like,
Lewis
yeah.
also had one of the greatest race victory that season on three wheels. He won
Oh,
on three
yes. Three
wheels.
wheels.
Three-wheel race in Silverstone.
Three wheels. I
I
remember
don't think
that.
anyone is ever going to win on three wheels again. So yeah. Here now, 7 titles. He's tied with Michael. And 2020
Yeah.
is done. But we did see a hint of Red Bull resurgence at the end of 2020. They won Abu Dhabi
Yes.
and they did look
Correct.
good.
Hmm.
So it showed signs that, Red Bull might be there or trying to challenge Mercedes in 2021.
Mhm.
And yeah, here we are 2021, the year of controversy. Obviously, the season was so exciting. Red Bull did indeed put up one of the greatest challenges Mercedes had ever faced in that era. And yeah, they had Verstappen now, who was at the peak of his powers, who was ascending to the throne, and he was the one who took the fight to Lewis. And these two were in a league of their own, right? So they had nobody
Yeah.
else challenging them. There was no driver touching them. They traded
And even their
victories.
own teammates couldn't touch them, man. Even
Yep.
Bottas and Perez couldn't touch them.
And Perez
You'd
couldn't
have
touch
races
Lewis.
where,
Perez couldn't touch Verstappen now as well, but back then he wasn't touching him as well.
I mean, Perez was much better back then.
He
But
was, he was.
every race you see that season, right? It would be like, Lewis and Max in some random order at the front, right? Within, like, say, a few seconds of each other. Especially 2021, the cars couldn't follow at all, right? But still, these two would follow each other at, somewhere in the front. And then the entire field is like, 30 seconds behind them, right? Or like 40
Yeah,
seconds behind them by the end of the race.
we had a lot of accidents also between them. Obviously, Silverstone, we all
Oh, yeah.
remember. We remember Monza, and
Monza, Silverstone, yeah.
we remember Imola also in the
Oh, oh,
first
oh.
corner.
Do you remember Baku of that season?
Oh yeah, Baku as well.
Yeah. My
Lewis,
God.
Lewis makes a dreadful mistake on the restart. He cost
Yeah.
himself the win that race. And obviously, Max
If you,
himself had bad luck in that race. He was leading by a large margin and his tire blew out.
yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, if at least Max's was a car issue, right? A car issue or a tire issue. Lewis was just his. If he hadn't pressed that button, Lewis would win that year's title. Like there wouldn't be a contest, right?
See that we're gonna talk about the title, okay? I think we can keep having these endless debates. I don't think that. You can say it's this mistake, that mistake, and all, but we
Yeah.
all know what happened. We know what happened in Abu Dhabi. The less we talk about it, the better. In the official documents, Lewis does not win an eighth title, but that will forever be marred with controversy. So
Yeah.
okay, so 2021 is where we have the whole Abu Dhabi fracas and we have the whole last lap incidents and Lewis is
And
now
we got Darth Toto.
we didn't have a race director at the end who was in his own doing things with his own power. He was being directed by a Red Bull engineer, unfortunately. So
Ah, sure.
we did we did Lewis's run of titles, officially in the documented books did come to an end in 2021. So Lewis is now at 7 titles, and this is where Mercedes, they do think or they do believe that they will come back with a resurgence in 2022
Yeah.
because of this lost or this uh what do you say, or the title being handed to another driver. They did win the constructors that year, but obviously the drivers is something they wanted to win as well. Lewis wanted to win that eighth
Right.
record breaking title. So 2022 they have the whole side pod, zero side pod thing, and this is where the team's downhill starts as well as Lewis's downhill starts. They
Hmm.
tried going with a unique concept in 2022, trying to outsmart other teams who are not following any of that. But yeah, they were left behind. I think all the other teams, Ferrari, McLaren, especially Red Bull, now were much better than them to start of the season. They did have their odd share of moments here and there where they won a race or two in the seasons. But 2022
I think they
and
didn't win anything in 22, right? I think
22
only
they didn't win anything.
23 and
Yes.
in 23. The only one in 24, right?
22 they did win Brazil, I think. They did win Brazil.
Okay, okay.
They won one race, I think, that season, which was George winning the race and Lewis finishing P2.
Right, right,
Brazil
right.
22. And then that's it.
Let's
They
see,
were,
22. Oh yeah, George won Sao Paulo, right?
yeah.
Yeah, where did that come from?
So that was the only win, and that made them think that, oh, we should continue with the concept. But 23 again proved to be a very bad year. I think the team did not win any race in 2023. They did have a few podiums. We did see Lewis on the podium, I think once or twice. I don't remember. But here he was 2 seasons without a win. Okay, 2022 and 2023. And
Yep,
there was not
yep,
much to talk about because Lewis was getting fed up with the car. The Mercedes team itself was completely destroyed now in terms of what direction they had to go to. So this was very. I mean, we were all flabbergasted to see that a team which had won like 8 constructors in a row now do not know how to make a car in two
yep,
consecutive
yep.
years.
Hmm.
So 2023 goes without again another win. We see Lewis without a victory for 2 years now, and George is giving him good competition as well. So Lewis in 2023, in somewhere in 2023, we did get the first hints of rumors that Lewis wants to, or Lewis has been offered by Ferrari a drive for, I don't know which year, but he has been offered by Ferrari a drive for one of the next few years. And he politely rejects that rumors and says that Mercedes is where he wants to stay because of the whole association thing. And even in between, he had said that he never thought about seeing himself in red in his career like other people might have, right?
Right.
But obviously that
No, I
changes
think
now.
no. I think he said something like, it's always like it's anyone's dream to, drive for Ferrari as an F1 driver. But he said he's happy to, finish off
Yeah,
his career in Mercedes, right?
exactly. He's been saying that throughout his association with Mercedes. So
Yeah, he's always been
and he
open about saying that, Ferrari is a dream for any driver, but he is always wanted to,
yeah
like he never had a, reason to consider that opportunity, right? Because he's always been with Mercedes or a Mercedes related team always.
yeah. So yeah, 2020 we didn't. I mean, so when the news hit, okay, we'll talk about the move first. When the news hit in 2024 that Lewis Hamilton is signing with Ferrari from 2025 onwards in a multi-year contract, I think that blew us away.
Mm.
I remember us doing a podcast on that at that time, and it completely blew us away. So we were like,
Yeah.
shocked. I think the entire F1 fraternity was shocked because a move of
Yeah, I
this
don't think
magnitude.
yeah, I don't think
When did the
anybody
move of this
expected it.
magnitude happen? I think last time was when Lewis moved from McLaren to Mercedes was when a move of this magnitude
Yeah,
happened.
but that time you were just a one-time drivers champion, right? I mean, not a
Yeah,
seven-time drivers champion who spent his entire career with a Mercedes engine, right? Um, because that's, I mean, you also see, drivers in the past, right? I think I mean, drivers who have been successful with a single team generally don't leave that team. Like we saw with Michael Schumacher when he was forced out of Ferrari at the end of 2006, he just retired, right? Like he was not old, he was like 34 at that point or 35. But Michael Schumacher just preferred to retire from the sport, and he never say went from Ferrari to, say, I don't know, McLaren or Williams or any of the
yeah,
strong teams in that era. So yeah, obviously Lewis going from Mercedes to Ferrari at this stage, yeah, I mean, obviously he has the, like, we all know that he has a hunger for eight title, right? Because he wants to be. I think he is very motivated to be, I guess atop that F1 mountain all by himself, right? Right now he shares the title with, I mean, the spot with Michael Schumacher. And I mean, obviously, whatever happened in 2021, if he would have actually won it, he probably would have retired back, then and there after his
I
eighth
always
title,
maintain
right?
that,
But
if he had won it, he would have probably retired.
yeah, because I mean, Lewis has also
Because there
said
was
in the
not more to
past that
achieve
he,
for him at that time. He had achieved everything.
yeah, and not just that. I mean, Lewis has also said in the past that he doesn't see himself, especially when Alonso's longevity is brought up. Around that time, Lewis always used to say, he doesn't want to be racing till, into well into his old age. He has other business interests to pursue and all that. So it always felt that, he wins the eighth title in 2021, new regulations come in 2022, and he just, takes off before that. He's like, peace, guys, I'm out. Right. But then obviously
Yeah.
that didn't happen, and he tried with Mercedes, obviously, right? Three more seasons. It
And
didn't work
and
out.
especially this season has
Mercedes are
been one
still
of the
understanding
worst.
the car. Mercedes are still understanding the car, right?
And this season has been painful, a pain to watch, especially like he did
Yeah,
win
the last few
Silverstone,
races
which
have
was
been,
his. He did win Silverstone, which was his first race win in almost 2.5 years. Very
right.
emotional for him as well as his fans. Like I also was very emotional. That whole like podium celebration really brought me to tears as well because
Yeah,
it was
and
so.
then he won Spa. Then he won Spa because of the George Russell
Yeah.
controversy, right? Uh, but yeah, I think obviously we saw Lewis get back to winning ways. I mean, obviously, I didn't think anybody was expecting him to win the title after Red Bull's strong start and McLaren's resurgence. But we thought, okay, Mercedes getting back, we'll have a strong end to the season. But yeah, I think after that, Lewis's form is pretty much dipped, right? If you look at the races after Spa, his position, finishing position in eighth, fifth, ninth, sixth, retired, fourth, 10th, and he finally got second in Vegas.
Yeah.
Some other Mercedes was really, really strong that weekend. And then 12th in Qatar, right? And it has been similar
Qatar
with
was
George Russell, right?
probably. I would probably rate Qatar as his worst weekend as an F1 driver because
Yeah. And
nothing
then
was
even
going
with
right
George,
for him
it's,
right from Saturday to the sprint to the qualifying to the
yeah.
race, and he looked like a shell of himself that race. You
Yeah.
don't
And it's
know.
not like, yeah, it's not like this is a Lewis issue either, because George in a similar period after Belgium has, sure, I mean, he has kind of, beaten Lewis mostly, but still, I mean, very, very middling positions. He
Yeah.
won Vegas, obviously, and he was third in Baku. But apart from that, George didn't have that good a run either, right? And they're only 20 24 points apart in the championship. So
Yeah,
it's
and
not like
obviously the
Lewis.
team is prioritizing George now.
Yeah,
Obviously over the last
that's
four
I mean,
few
yeah.
races, yeah, Lewis has not probably not got the help he needs to set up the car and all
Yeah,
that.
but
But
obviously, I think Qatar was. I think I would say. I mean, I'm not really a Lewis fan like you are, but still, I think Qatar was one of the most painful races to watch for Lewis. Right, like the way on the radio is like, just retire the
yeah,
car, man. Like, yeah,
I mean, I lost respect for Mercedes as a team in that in that of 1 or 2 laps there because of I felt like everything was going wrong for Lewis in that.
yep,
But I'm glad we now are looking forward to this one last race with Lewis in the Mercedes. I think it's going to be emotional. It's gonna be. I'm sure I'm gonna have a tear in my eye, or maybe a few tears. When that checkered flag goes out and Lewis finishes his last lap. Hopefully, he finishes the race. I don't know. We'll see. If he does not, I'll have peace with it. Lewis will have peace with it as well. Hopefully, he does finish the race. Hopefully, he does get a good result, and that's it, right? His race is gonna end, and his career with Mercedes is
yeah,
also gonna end. And it's kind of sad that
and
it's all come down to this where Mercedes do not want to give
yeah,
him a bigger contract, a longer contract, and make him an ambassador and all that. So yeah, I mean, we are seeing all these tribute videos and whatnot, all these different kinds of stuff Mercedes is releasing, but they also have released a car, Mercedes G wagon, which is called Sir Class or something like, or basically a Sir Class car after
I
Lewis
see.
Hamilton. So it's weird that they are doing all this but not giving him or not making an ambassador for the team by giving him say a 1 or 2 more year contract or whatever Lewis
Mm.
wanted. So yeah, I'm sure they have their own decisions for that. So But we are counting down the days now. It's like already. It's like what, one, two, three, four. There's 5 sessions more for Lewis in a Mercedes car, and yeah, it's gonna hit all of us Lewis fans and general F1 fans as well. Would feel some kind of emotion not seeing Lewis in a black or a silver
Yeah,
arrow
man.
car
It's
after
going to be
Sunday.
very weird seeing Lewis in red. I mean, I don't think any of us expected to see Lewis in red, right?
Yeah, so it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be fun. He's gonna have again a very competitive teammate like he had in George. He's gonna be Charles Leclerc now, and
Yeah.
he's replacing Carlos
And
Sainz, who does deserve a shout out as well. Carlos has also had a great career at Ferrari. He's been a steady number one, number two kind of driver there at Ferrari. So Charles has also had a lot of competition with Carlos. I don't think we all expected Carlos to be at Charles's level, but there were races where Carlos surpassed Charles's
yeah,
level as
yeah,
well, especially Australia this year, where I may feel that whenever Carlos wins a race, he does it in style. He dominates his teammate
yeah.
whenever he does win a race, and he's had
Also
results in the season where he's
Singapore
been
2023.
yeah.
The only race won by a non Red Bull car in that season was by Carlos Sainz, right?
So yeah, Carlos is Carlos is not getting as long as a farewell video as we are giving Lewis, obviously for obvious reasons, but special shout out to him as well. He's moving to Williams, so we're going to see a lot of farewells this week, obviously highlighted by Lewis's career at Mercedes,
Yeah.
but there are going to be other farewells as well. We're saying farewell to
I mean,
Valtteri
one driver already got a
Bottas.
farewell.
Oh, Esteban Ocon, man, I have no idea what happened with that. I think Esteban Ocon deserves much better. So, I mean, Alpine, I don't know what the hell they are doing. Seriously, he had a whole special
Yeah.
helmet and all that, but these guys just wanted to replace him. So, but yeah, Esteban Ocon, good luck to him. He'll be joining Haas from next season. So, farewell to Carlos, farewell to Valtteri, farewell to Zhou, Zhou Guan Yu,
Yeah.
Mr.
Joe
Zhou,
Guan Yu.
Zhou Guan Yu. Sorry, I
Yeah.
don't know why I keep saying Zhou, Zhou Guan Yu. And who else? I think farewell to Franco Colapinto for the time
Colapinto.
being. We don't know if he's going to have a race
Yep.
seat next season. So, and who else? Am I missing somebody? Oh, Sergio Perez, obviously. Maybe Sergio
Oh,
Perez,
yeah.
his last race in F1.
Yeah, I think Red Bull hasn't confirmed, but yeah, I think ESPN reported, so I think we can assume that he's gone.
Yeah, I think a lot of farewells. At this point, I don't know how many farewells we're going to have tomorrow. So,
Yeah, let's see. Let's run down the list, man. So Carlos is going to Williams, Lewis is going to Ferrari, Perez is probably leaving the sport. Hulkenberg is going to Audi, correct?
Audi.
Um, and then Gasly staying on. Let's see who else.
Ocon to
Esteban's already
Haas.
left. Yeah, Esteban's already left. I think Magnussen is leaving, right?
Magnussen is going to endurance racing.
Yeah, Magnussen is going to endurance racing. Ricardo already left. Behrman, well, we'll be welcoming Behrman to Haas.
Yeah.
Colapinto is leaving. Joe is leaving. Bottas is leaving. Sargent already left. But yeah, yeah, lot of changes and
Yeah, definitely.
a lot of new drivers are going to be there next season.
Yeah, we also want to see
Um,
the debut of Jack Doohan this race.
yeah, we want to see
So
Jack Doohan next next race at the finale. Yeah, also it's kind of weird. Like when we started 2024, this season, there was not a single rookie on the grid, right? They're all experienced drivers. But by the end, we have seen Franco Colapinto. We saw Ollie Behrman who subbed in for Carlos. We're going to see Jack Doohan next race. And then yeah, I mean Liam Lawson, yeah, technically not a rookie, sure, but yeah, he was sub the previous season and then he
yeah,
basically subbed in permanently for Daniel this year.
yep,
Yeah, so we're ending the season with a lot of rookie or close to rookie-ish drivers. Obviously, Oscar Piastri is also just a second season for him. Right. Yeah, next year we are going to see. Well,
Next, we're
there's
going to
supposed to
welcome
be
a few
Jack.
more rookies,
Yeah,
probably. I
Jack
think
Doohan,
yeah,
obviously.
Isaac
Who else?
Hajar is probably joining Alpha
Oh
Tauri.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Or Visa Cash App Racing Bulls F1 team.
Oh, yeah. One of them.
And also going to see Andrea Kimi Antonelli at
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Gabriel Bortoletto.
Bortoletto
And
at Sauber or Audi.
yeah.
Ollie
There's one
Behrman's
more.
first full season at
Yeah.
Haas. And obviously, where we have our evergreen rookie Fernando Alonso.
And Lewis Hamilton will be 40 by the time we go racing next year.
Yep. And Lewis Hamilton is also pretty much a rookie, man. New team, new
Yeah.
decade, the new Lewis.
Yeah, I think we covered everything with respect to Lewis in his last, what, 12 years, and also going back to 2007 as well. So
Yeah.
it's been fun doing this. I think, like, never thought we'd do this episode, but here we are. We're down to the last race of the season. We had one of the best seasons in F1, I would think, for a while, because of so many drivers who could have were winning races recently after the initial
It's
first of the year, which was an absolute dreadful first half. And now we're
it's
down
going
to
to be
Abu
very
Dhabi.
it's going to be very weird next season when you hear Luis on the radio and instead of Bono, it's some Italian guy replying to him. Riccardo Adami, not some Italian guy. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
good engineer, but it's going to be very strange when Riccardo Adami comes on the radio and like, Lewis, question: how do you like your tires? Do you want to box next
My
lap?
tires are gone, Ricardo. It's gonna be so weird, man. It's gonna be so
My tires are
weird.
gone, Ricardo. Okay, box, Lewis, box. No, my tires are good. Why are you pitting me?
What is Ricardo gonna say? Lewis, it's hammer time. Is Bono gonna give him that trademarked dialogue or trademarked line? I want to hear. I want to hear. By the way, Lewis, it's hammer time. I not think we've heard that for a
Yeah,
long time. So I just want to hear that
yeah,
one last time in Abu Dhabi on full
yeah.
volume.
And then, yeah, this is going to be like, Lewis, it's hammer time. And next is like, Lewis, it's hammer time.
Oh, going so fun. I wish Bono could have gone with Lewis. That'd be fun. But yeah,
I think Ferrari would love to get Bono, but I think Mercedes kind of blocked that move, right? I think
yeah,
Mercedes obviously doesn't want to lose Bono to Mercedes to Ferrari, right? But yeah, man,
yeah, and also
Bono is going to be Kimi's race engineer, man. Like holy shit.
we don't know if it's confirmed, but it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, George would probably want to keep his current guy, right? I don't know.
Yeah, Marcus Dudley.
They already built a relationship, right? So
But we also say goodbye to one of the greatest driver engineer pairings, Lewis and
yeah,
Bono.
yeah, yep,
I don't think we're ever gonna see a pairing like that.
yeah. I mean, you do also Max and GP. We had Schumacher and Braun, and whoever Vettel's engineer was, I forget, in his Red Bull days.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, obviously Lewis and Bono, right? What, six
yeah.
titles, right?
Eight
So
constructors and six, what, seven
yeah,
big
six
championships.
titles. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably one of the most successful driver engineer pairings, right?
yeah.
Schumacher Braun was only five, right? I don't think he had Braun at Benetton. So
No, no, he did not. He did not.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, who in the next crop of drivers is, you know,
Yeah.
if we see somebody on Lewis's level, right? I mean, Max obviously is close at four, but I mean, I struggle to see maybe 2026, maybe Red Bull win that era again, but otherwise next year I don't see Max winning next year. Or anyone really. It's probably going to be a very close season. Maybe Lando will finally win next year.
Oh, next season might be one of the most interesting seasons. Like you never know who's gonna win. I think
Yeah,
Vibu in
it's
our
going
chat
to
is
be.
asking what's happened with Max Verstappen. Verstappen has been sent to school by George Russell. Well, that's what happened to Max Verstappen. So yeah. But
Yeah.
what's your prediction for the race with this whole Verstappen Russell? Obviously, we're not going very in depth because it's a lot of back and forth going on. We'll see if it continues throughout
Yeah.
the weekend or not. But what do you think about the
I
race? And we have a title. We
Yeah.
have a title decider on our hands. We never spoke about it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
With obviously the good bigger
So
Lewis taking the bigger spotlight, but we do have a title decider.
Yeah, we have a title decider, and I don't think it's going to be as strong a track for McLaren this weekend. Like Qatar was supposed to be a very strong track for them, and obviously they completely. I
But
mean,
yeah, the
it
whole
was not
Lando.
totally their fault that they bungled it, but yeah, I mean that whole safety car nonsense was stupid, man. Like regardless of who we support, 4 laps with that winner on the track, what the hell was going
Yeah,
on? But yeah, I think like Red Bull has been kind of suddenly very strong in the past few races. Like they won.
yeah.
They won 2 races. They won. I mean, obviously, sure, Brazil was a rain track, but they won this. They won Qatar. They were not that weak at Vegas either, right? So yeah, it's been
Yep.
a weird ending to the season, right? Like last 3 races, Lando has been 10th, 6th, and 6th, and Max has been first, 5th, and first. Like, what's going on? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in Abu Dhabi. I think, yeah, man, it feels like I don't know, man. I think Mercedes, man. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think with all the drama going on, I don't care who wins the constructor. They just want to see a Max versus George fight, man. Like take it out on track, boys. Take it out on track, boys. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You
it's
think
hard to
Ferrari
predict,
can
man. I
get the
think this last
constructors?
race. Sorry.
You think Ferrari can get the constructors?
See, if this was McLaren against any other team for the constructors, with the way McLaren have been racing this season, I would say that other team would have won the constructors. But it's Ferrari, man. This is like shit against dung kind of thing. Both teams will be trying their best to screw it
But
up.
I would think that this track suits Ferrari. So if they can get a 1-2 and have somebody else sneak in for a third, they win the championship, right? They just need a 1-2 somehow.
I think if they get 1-2, they're winning. I don't think they can be caught if they get a 1-2.
I mean, if they get a 1-2, McLaren need to finish below fifth or something. I don't know the permutations yet, but
No, I
yeah,
mean there's a 21-point gap in between them, right?
yeah,
So if they get 1-2, Ferrari gets 43, and 3-4 is what? 15 and 12 or 15 and 10?
15 and 12.
Oh, that 27. Oh, that's only 16 points. Okay. So they need what, Max or Lewis to come third.
And speaking of Lewis, I do hope see they give him a good car and you know had let him finish off
Yeah.
on a decent note. So
Yeah. Well, looks like Barbara is rooting for Ferrari and Lewis. Oh, that's she. Okay, she's rooting for next season.
oh,
Uh,
let's go, Barbara. You're a Lewis and a Ferrari fan, or is it
yeah.
Ferrari lives? I'm not able to
No, I
understand.
think I think that's probably a Lewis typo.
Oh, okay, fine. Maybe it's Lewis. Hello, Barbara. Welcome to the
Yeah.
stream. But I don't know. I'm wanting to pick Ferrari because I think I want McLaren to mess it up again because they've been they just bottle everything. They're the new Tottenham Hotspur. So I'll have fun.
Oh man.
So we'll see if it happens
Yeah,
or not.
man.
But whatever
There
happens,
was
Abu Dhabi is
a
gonna be fun.
stat that after Miami, when Lando started winning, he was 60 points behind Max. Right now, he's
Now
80
he's like,
points behind Max. Like after that, all the drama we got, Max ended up winning more comfortably.
yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
guys,
Anyway,
we will see you after Abu Dhabi. We'll do a season wrap up. It's been a long season, an actually long season,
very long.
not just because of multiple race winners and all the drama, but just freaking long, man. Our first race this year, in Bahrain was, when was that? When was Bahrain, man? Feels so long ago at this point.
March, sometime in March.
Yeah, 2nd March 2024, right? And this race, Abu Dhabi, is going on December 8th. That's like more than 9 months. Like we never had such a long season.
And it gives
Oh my god.
and it makes things interesting because next season is going to start again in the next 3 months. So basically, we don't have to wait too long.
Yeah, man. Like I'm not used to waiting such short durations for a
Yeah,
championship to come back. But
yeah. I think as you said, we're gonna be back after Abu Dhabi, or we'll see. Maybe we'll do.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
we'll
wait a
most
minute.
likely after the race. But if there's something interesting, we'll see. We'll try to come on before or something
Yeah, yeah.
just to
Oh,
preview.
2025, the 2025 calendar looks different. Hold on. We're starting in Melbourne.
Yeah, Australia's getting his opening race thing back. So yeah,
Oh, I thought it was going to be Bahrain again. My
no,
bad.
no,
I see. So 16th March in Melbourne. Wow. That's a throwback to see Australia at the front.
yeah,
Now we just need Malaysia to be after Australia, and my childhood is
I
complete. Bring back
yep,
Sepang.
I agree.
All
Anyway,
right, fellas. That's all for the
that
stream
was
today.
we did wanted to do a special episode dedicated to Lewis and
Yeah.
all the things he accomplished. So we'll see how he goes in the race, how others go in the race as well. But if you've come this far, do subscribe to the channel. We are getting closer and closer towards our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Do pass it
Yeah.
on to your friends. Just watch the
We are
videos,
at
support us.
6:30, so we are at 6:30, so we are slowly inching towards 1K. But yeah, do tell your friends, like Aniket said. We also have other sports to stream, right, Aniket? I think we're going to see a Border Gavaskar Trophy stream again this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna
Um,
have the test match, so we'll come
yeah,
up
and we
with
have the
a review of that once it's done. We also have Premier
yeah, and
League.
we have the Premier League tomorrow, right? I guess.
Yeah,
Premier League preview, and
and
obviously we have
obviously
our
we'll
Pela
do
Tech,
and
the NBA
the
stream.
NBA stuff. Obviously, as we'll get back to it soon once F1
Yep.
is done. And yeah, we'll come back on the F1 side with the 2024 season review and look
Yes.
forward to 2025 as well. It's going to be an exciting show. We'll probably do that in two parts, I guess. One to review 24 and one when we look forward to 25 with all the driver lineups and if then
Yeah, I
and
think
discussing any new tracks.
yeah, we'll probably the 2025 preview will probably come a bit later because I mean obviously with Perez leaving now Red Bull has what two driver spots, right? Because Lawson actually is not confirmed for next season
Yeah,
as of yet. Right now it's only officially it's Max, Sergio, and Yuki who have a contract for next season. So obviously Sergio is leaving, then that opens up two spots. So and we don't know where Liam Lawson will be, right? There's speculation Liam Lawson might get a chance ahead of Yuki Tsunoda in that seat next to Max Verstappen. And then who comes in next to Yuki, right? This Su for Colapinto or yeah, we don't know. We'll bring that news to you
we'll see.
once we know more. Yeah,
Yeah, anyway,
cool.
it's been a long season. This comes down to the last race,
Yeah, really
and
long season,
hopefully
man.
it,
I'm
it
tired.
lives up to the season's
Yep,
billing, which was exciting as well. Though. So
yep.
I guess we'll
Thanks
see you on the
everyone
other
for
side.
tuning in. Yep, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you next week in our season review. See ya.